Hey folks, Douglas Trevino, Coldwell Banker, residential real estate here in Southwest Florida. Thank goodness our weather's getting better. A little warmer now. We had that cold spell from that storm that came from up north, and you know what? All my sympathies to all you northerners. It's got to be cold. Just a quick note here. Matter of fact, talking about listing homes and being a listing agent, which means you're contracted to sell a home by a homeowner or seller. Versus being a buyer's agent where you're working with buyers ultimately to sell other listing agents' homes, or hopefully if you're a buyer, you are a buyer's agent and you have your own listings, you would want to sell your own first. But primarily coming from the perspective of a listing agent. I just got done showing one of my listings to a buyer's agent and his buyers, and it's interesting. Agents who don't show their own listings. In other words, they throw a lockbox on the door, and all buyers agents who call to inquire, they give them the code, and primarily that's all they do. And they send the buyer's agent out there with the buyers to look at the house by themselves. Now there are going to be times, excuse me, when that's going to be necessary, meaning the listing agent's booked during the time that they're requesting to show the house. They have other listings to show or what have you, and you don't want to miss that opportunity because you can't be there. So yeah, you will certainly set that agent up to go show the home and hopefully go over a selling checklist and maybe email them. That's what I do, is I would email them a hot sheet in terms of things to talk about the home that the buyer's agent may not have fully grasped or understand. And here's what I mean. You go to a house and you're a buyer's agent and you show up, you've got like 5 or 6 or more possible listing cards that you're taking those buyers out to look at the homes. Now you can't become an expert on every single one of those listings if you've got so many in front of you. You're relying on what the listing agent has put into the the MLS to advertise for it. You can't always fit all of the selling points in the MLS. So you got a pretty decent amount of characters you can use to input when you're describing the property, but you are limited. So as a listing agent for my listings, I always put together a selling hot sheet on top of, to include some of the improvements or benefits of that house or neighborhood, but additionally put in some factors that may not be known by outside buyers or the buyer's agent even. So I try to be at all my listings and offer what I call my concierge service. You're going above and beyond just listing a home, but you're really there to sell the home. And I would tell you, a lot of times buyer's agents really appreciate that. I know I certainly do. If I'm showing up with buyers to a home and I'm looking at 5 to 10 homes, and that selling agent or the listing agent, excuse me, is at the house and gives me a good 5-minute, or gives my buyers and I a 5-minute tour to really go over the hot points of the house and the neighborhood, etc. It helps out, and then I can take over the selling part with my buyers. It's very helpful, and unfortunately not a lot of agents do that. And so selling my own home, this certainly did help. There were a lot of factors about the house that I could not fit into the listing, the MLS, or which feeds out to all of our Coldwell Banker. We feed out to over, gosh, I think it's like 700 websites now. It's more than any other company does. So it definitely helped that agent to be able to say, hey, listen, let me go through some of the additional points and I'll let you take over. So if you're thinking of listing your home, that should be a point that the agent brings up, that they're going to try to be there for all the showings. They may not be able to be there for all of them, but they're really going to try to be there to sell the house because it helps. It really does. So if you're thinking of listing your home and you're looking at agents to interview them, have that be a key point. Hopefully they're doing that. And if they're not, and they say, you know what, I refuse to do that, especially if you're dealing with properties over a certain price point, let's say here in Southwest Florida, generally speaking, anything over 300,000, you're starting to creep up into a little bit of a higher echelon of property, depending on where it is. And then ultimately you get into the higher price points, 700,000, 800,000 plus, million plus. I'm there for every single showing, and in most cases I don't even put a lockbox on those homes. I'll either maintain or retain a key that I can use, and I coordinate with the seller, or the seller maintains the key and they're always available for me, and will leave the house unlocked or meet me before the showing, and then I can get the house staged. That's something that is, and I've sold homes like that, definitely, where the buyer's agent was like, Doug, thank you. You said a couple of things that I wouldn't have thought of, and that really hit home with the buyers. You never know. You never know. You never know. And so definitely it doesn't hurt to be there. It only helps. So definitely, if you're looking at agents, keep that in mind, and ask those questions. Are you going to be selling the house? Are you going to be there for showings? To help go over the hot points of the house and etc., the selling points. If you have any questions about listing your home and you're not sure, there's no obligation. I'm happy to answer any questions. I love talking real estate. So if you ever want to shoot the breeze and you're questioning, that there's no obligation. You call me up. I'm not sitting here with the pen in hand going to run over to your house and sign a contract. But I love what I do. I love real estate. I love selling. And I love meeting people and getting to know people, my sellers. I've met some outstanding individuals and families, and you always are in this business to learn something new, to meet new people, make connections, and I've built a network that is just phenomenal for selling and for personal reasons. So again, if you have any questions about real estate, feel free to call 239-410-4460 or shoot me an email. Douglas@purefloridaluxury.com. I'm happy to answer questions and go over things. Whether you select me or not, if you're going to be listing your home, or you have somebody in mind, that's fine. At least I'll get a heads up that it's going to be on the market. That's a benefit for me too. So and I'll be aware of the house as well. And when you're selling your house, you want to have an entourage of agents working for you, or trying to sell your home. Will it, if you don't hire me, will it be my primary selling point? Well, no, I'm going to try to sell my own listings first, just as the agent who you hire will try to sell that listing first. But certainly, not everybody's going to be purchasing a listing of mine. A lot of them have criteria that don't match what I have, but I certainly attracted them through my listings, and I can certainly show them what else is on the market. So if you want to take advantage of that, absolutely feel free to call. I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are. If you're down here in Southwest Florida, enjoy the heat, go to the beach, do something fun. If you're up north, stay warm and try to get down here as soon as possible. Take care. Bye-bye.